So MAGA is going to try to continue and gaslight everyone about the fact that Easter fell on Transgender Day of Visibility. I made a video explaining this before, but I'll say it again for those that missed it. Back in 2021, President Biden declared March 31st to be Transgender Day of Visibility. And that means it will be celebrated every March 31st. Easter does not always fall on March 31st. It comes around this time of year, but it falls on different days and always has. It's not like Christmas that always comes on December 25th. So this year, it just so happened to fall on Transgender Day of Visibility. But MAGA is going to continue to double down, and they're going to continue to try to say that this was Joe Biden slapping Christians in the face. That is called gaslighting, and that's what they're good at. But you can always count on Congressman Tim Burchett here in Tennessee to take it to a new level. And I pointed up when actually I should have pointed down, because when it comes to Tim Burchett, he's always going to take it to a new level of low. And when he's talking about it, he just had to go there and accuse transgender people of being mentally ill. Check out this clip.
Congressman, more efforts to divide us coming out of the White House this weekend. President Biden marking Transgender Visibility Day on Easter Sunday. He posted this on X today on Transgender Day of Visibility. I have a simple message to all trans Americans. I see you. You are made in the image of God, and you're worthy of respect and dignity. Congressman, no one is arguing any of that, but to name Transgender Day on Easter Sunday, Christians across the country felt that was a smack in the face.
It was a complete smack in the face, Maria. I even posted on X or Twitter. I said, Jesus wept. I know that's not what Jesus was weeping about, but I felt that was that strong of a message. You know, we see him, the people in his administration, you know, have been in trouble that are his transgender, you know, box checking that he's done. The fellow that was in the dress that was in the airport stealing women's clothing that was over some of our nuclear secrets. I mean, things like that. Seeing military recruitment down because of this movement. They're pushing through the budget. Continuation of surgeries on transgenders. You know, this thing is it's a mental illness. We just got to address it. It's not a normal type lifestyle, and I can't be more against what the president did. And I think it shows too. He is just trying to secure his base. He doesn't care about it, and he's losing everything but his base. And his far left base, you know, agrees with this type of behavior.
Yeah, and the rest of it. I don't know what you're saying in terms of mental illness. I have no idea what you're talking about in that regard. But I will say this: Christians want their Easter Sunday, and Easter Sunday happens to be on March 31st this year. So to declare a Transgender Visibility Day on the day of Easter holiday, the resurrection, when you know, Christians and Catholics everywhere believe this is a high holy day, that is outrageous.
Notice how even the host starts trying to push back on that. Even she realizes what he's saying and starts trying to weasel her way out of it. But I'm not going to give her a pass for that either, because that's what happens when you turn over your platform to a bigot like Tim Burchett. He wants to talk about Joe Biden appealing to his base. No. When he repeated that uneducated, hateful, spiteful, transphobic talking point, he was trying to appeal to his base. And he has latched on to Donald Trump's base, and so they go around citing conspiracy theories every chance they get. They go around empowering hatred and stupidity and homophobia and transphobia every time they get a chance, because that is their base and that's who they're trying to appeal to. And that is exactly why that he said what he said. He made that remark because he's a bigot and his base is bigots, and he had to talk to them. He had to get them on his side. He's trying his best to be the Dollar General version of Donald Trump, and that's an insult to Dollar General stores, but that's what the guy's going for. And he wants to sit and talk about how he posted on Twitter that Jesus wept. Really? You don't think Jesus wept when he looked down and saw Donald Trump hijack Christianity and saw the best Christians on earth fall for it? You don't think that might have caused him to shed a few tears? I imagine that would have. I imagine you got a guy down here bragging about groping women, being found liable of sexual abuse and defaming his victims. And then, I mean, go back and watch all the Howard Stern interviews that he did and all the things he bragged about doing, and then said, oh, I don't know why I would ever have to ask God to forgive me for anything. I've never done anything wrong. I live a clean life. I'm a good guy. You don't think Jesus looked down and wept at that? It's absolutely sickening. It's truly, truly sickening. And the only thing that I can say to people outside of here that looks at Tennessee and goes, damn, you got people like that talking? Yeah, unfortunately, we do. But I'll say it till the day I'm gone. There's a whole lot of blue dots out there in this part of the world that is sick and tired of the rhetoric from the likes of Tim Burchett, and he does not speak for all of Tennessee. He might speak for some. There may be some that will give him a pass for that, but this is one person right here that won't. And I know a whole lot of people who would be standing beside me saying, no, hell no, we're not going to give him a pass for that either. To trans people out there, I don't know what you go through. I have no idea. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I do. But I'm listening. I want to hear what you got to say. I want to hear about what you go through. I have trans people reach out to me all the time. We message back and forth. We talk about things. I want to learn about it. I want to know about it. I don't want the likes of Tim Burchett explaining to me what it is. I don't want the likes of Joe Rogan and these podcasters, these disgruntled white dudes sitting and telling me what it is. I want to learn about it for what it really is. So if you ever need a voice, someone to talk to, someone to vent to, I'm here to listen. We'll talk about it all day long because I want to know about it. I want to understand it better. The likes of Tim Burchett just wants to write you off and cast you away and then turn around and call himself a Christian, and it's absolute bullshit. This is the same dude that sits back and says, oh, we can't fix gun violence. Ain't nothing you can do about it. If somebody wants to hurt you, they're going to hurt you. That's his words. And now he has the gall to call trans people mentally ill when we all know that any time a health bill has ever come up to try to help anyone, he always is standing there saying that's socialism or that'll lead to communism. So his talking point is not only bigoted and prejudiced and hateful and spiteful and hurtful, it's also just glaring hypocrisy because he's never done nothing for the mentally ill either. And again, to people that's looking at Tennessee going, what the hell's going on? Well, there's a whole lot of us here that are sick and tired of it, and there's a movement that's going to start happening here in Tennessee. We're not going to shut up, and we're not going to rest until those kind of voices are a thing of the past. I want there to come a day where we look back, and the only reason I ever want to ever bring up Tim Burchett's name 20 or 30 years from now is when we go back and we show what not to do. When we go back and say, hey, we reached this point in history where cruelty became the number one policy of the Republican Party, where hatred became the number one policy of the Republican Party, and we got to learn from it. Let's pull up this exhibit here of this asshole, and let's show the kids what not to do. That's the only way that I want to be talking about that scumbag. And I'm really trying to find a worser word to use, but I don't know how far I can go here, but you get the point. That's the only reason why that I want to talk about that dude 30 years from now is when we're telling people this is what we should have never let happen and this is what we'll never let happen again.